Hello. Long time no see. I have not done a live in a long time. I've been extremely busy doing all kinds of other stuff. So, wanted to just kind of update you guys. Some of you know that, first of all, for those of you that keep commenting about my hair, okay, so my hair is usually straight as a stick. Like this straight. It's like this straight. But my girl Michelle in Junction City at Tangles gave me this perm. I don't know. Now it's 8 weeks maybe. This thing has held like crazy. Just big, beachy, curly curls. And I just want to give a shout out to her because she's the one who's been doing my hair. So she's done an amazing job. So her name's Michelle at Tangles in Junction City. Okay. So, what's going on? What's going on? So, many of you know, well, maybe many of you don't know. I haven't talked a lot about this, have I? Guys, I have never been a proponent of Botox. I want you to look at these deep frown lines. It makes me want to walk around like this all day. So, these lines are like, So, some of you know that almost 2 years ago, I felt like the Lord was burdening me to share some stories, to share stories about my life, stories about how being abandoned by my father impacted my life, stories about homeschooling my kids, about adoption, about going through the infertility process, stories about living with addiction. You know, everybody's got these stories. We've all got these stories. And I found if my mother's on here, she needs to charge her phone. So I just got to notice you need to charge your phone. And I got really burdened about sharing stories, but I didn't know which stories to share. I didn't know where to start. So I found a gal named Leslie Leyland Fields. Leslie had written a book that coaches other people on how to write a book. And she's written several. And so I joined her class and I began to share some of the stories that I wanted to share with the people in the class. And evidently I'm not a bad writer. I do have some bad writing habits, as my friend Elaine will tell you. Because I hand my stuff to her and go, please fix this. Because she's a writer. So I talked to her. I've talked to Les. I've talked to all these people in the group. I've shared some of the stories I wanted to share. A lot of it is about abandonment and dealing and the impact that abandonment by a parent has on young women, especially their fathers, and the kind of decisions that they make because of that experience. Okay, so I shared some of the stories with my group, and I began to talk to some of my friends that have been praying with me, and sat down and talked to God and said, where do I start? What do I start with? And he said to me, obviously I didn't hear him audibly, but I know it was him, because he said, where have you found the most healing from me? So God says, wherever we found the most redemption and the most healing from him, that's where we start. And that's probably the story we want to tell. So between that and just confirmation from other people, I started to write a Bible study / journal that would help women go through the process of healing and finding some purpose in their pain, And it turned out that it wasn't just about women being abandoned by their fathers. It was also about women being abused. I share my abuse story in the study, and I also share how God took what I thought could not be healed and healed it. And so that's what I've been writing, and that project is done. I am now working just to make sure that, the margins are right before it goes to print. And there are a few other edits. I'll do a final edit before I upload it to Amazon, and it'll be available on Amazon. So that project is pretty well done. So the other thing that, so when I took what I thought was almost done to pastor, mentor, father figure, friend of mine, and was asking him some questions about, what do I do now with some of this stuff? And he said, you need to quit messing around, just write the book. He said, just quit messing around, write the book. So, well, I thought I was, just about done with this project. I can take a break. That's not happening. I'm not taking a break. So there will be more stories coming pretty much this means everything that's been, all the stories that I've been putting into the study will go into a book. And then of course there'll be a whole lot of other book stuff in that book. So, and it will be about being a discarded daughter. And for those of you who don't know, I do have a group of women that I've shared the study with for free, so they can see what's in it and give me some feedback about whether or not what I'm trying to share is on course with what they have found to be true in their own experience about being discarded or abandoned or abused. So, and God's really doing some things there, because so I wandered for months about this, about what to write and what to share and what stories to tell. And then all of a sudden there are these people that are saying these things to me and inviting me to speak and want me to share my abandonment story and my forgiveness story. And God keeps just endorsing the decision that I felt like he was leading me to do when I started to write the study. So the study itself is done. I will offer, I'll print some and have some available when I come to speak. But I feel like I need more input. I feel like I need to know, sorry guys, I've got a whole bunch of stuff in front of my face now. I feel like I need to just, I'm just doing all this by faith. I'm not a great writer. I'm not bad at it. I can tell a story. Most of that is because I've read stories. I originally thought the Bible study was a great first step because it allowed me to share the way that God's word worked in my life to heal me. And so I wanted that to be available quickly for people who were struggling with that. And there are an awful lot of us out here that don't know how to forgive. We don't know the importance of it. We want to hang on to our bitterness. We want to hang on to our anger and our hurt and our pain. And what that does is that leads us to do a whole lot of other self-destructive behaviors. It leads us to not only be hurt people, but to hurt other people. And so the sooner we can find a way to not only forgive, but also see that God allows purpose to come out of our pain and struggles, the sooner we can do that, the better. And so I'm offering the study is available first. The Bible study is available first. And it's almost complete. I mean, it's completed. I just got to figure out margins and stuff before I send it to get printed. And I'll share that when it's ready. I would encourage you, if you have people in your life that are struggling with the need to forgive, the need to move on, the need to get rid of the bitterness and the hurt and the pain. Because listen, if you are walking with bitterness toward other people, no matter who they are or what they've done to you, they control you. Whether you want them to or not, they own you. they are the ones controlling your decisions, your thoughts, your choices. So you have to get to a place where you can get rid of that bitterness. You have to get to a place where you can forgive and grow again and live again. Okay. So for those of you who have not been aware, have not seen the study, or just want to know more information, get in touch with me. I have a new email address that is just for people that want to talk about the books. It's called it's L.A. Schaefer, just like my name is spelled here, L.A. Schaefer Books @gmail.com, and I'll put that in the comments. So it's a very humbling thing to really sense and see and feel God working with your story. And I'm on the verge of tears every time I sit down at the computer to start typing, because he has just not only flooded me with memories and a way to share those memories, but he's also, there are some days where you feel like you're like totally blocked. This is not a day to work. This is a day to pray. And there are other times when you sit down at the computer and you cannot stop the flow of information and sharing that he has initiated. It's a very humbling thing. And people keep popping into my life that are specifically involved in ministry toward women, or they're specifically involved in planning and preparing events for women. I'm not seeking any of that. I haven't gone out and looked for any of that. And yet God just kind of is opening up those doors. So it's a very powerful, it's just a powerful but humbling place to be. So I would ask any of you that pray to pray for me in that, and just make sure that whatever it is he's trying to do with this, that it comes to fruition, that whatever part of my story other people can find hope in, then I want him to use that. So, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon.